Is your broker or brokerage stopping you from closing more deals? Well, today, you guys, I want to talk about 5 ways that your broker or brokerage may be stopping you from closing more deals. And you may not realize it, but a lot of agents are leaving opportunities on the table because of their brokerage or their love for their broker. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 ways that a traditional or local brokerage may be holding your business back and stopping you from closing more deals, and why agents are choosing cloud-based brokerages like eXp to run their business. Number 1 is your broker or your brokerages or leadership's limited knowledge of today's market. Recently, I ran into an agent who told me that they had not been selling real estate for years, but they had been in leadership at a big box brokerage. And honestly, you guys, this is what prompted me to film this video. This agent and I started talking about ways to generate business, and they were very curious on why I moved to eXp. And I explained to them that I had worked at 5 other brokerages prior to eXp in a 2-year short period of time. And one of the main reasons why I did not like the brokerage that they were at is because I wanted to use social media and video to build my business when I moved here to Atlanta in 2018. And this agent proceeded to tell me, this agent who is in leadership, who has not sold a home in years, proceeded to tell me that video and social media does not work. And I was like, that's funny, because all of my clients have come from social media or online. And that really honestly made me think, like, is your broker, leadership, or your brokerage stopping you from building the business that you want to have because of their limited knowledge of social media, online, or them teaching you to door knock, like do all the old school tactics that still work. They do work, but they're not the only way. And when you come across brokers and brokerages or leaders in your company that is telling you to do things that worked years ago, and they're not privy to what's going on in the market today as far as YouTube, social media, and showing up online, that limits your business to the knowledge that your broker has. Now, most agents, when you're starting new, you don't realize that there's like 100 ways to generate a client, but you don't want to get stuck doing what your broker was doing 20 years ago, which may still work, but they're not open to learning about new things that work, or just close down. Just completely close down just to say that doesn't work, when I know it works because it's worked for me. So honestly, it took me on a journey to find a brokerage that would work for me. And after working at 5 different brokerages in 2 short years here in Atlanta, once coming back in 2018, I finally found my brokerage that works for me, which is eXp Realty. And I'm going to go into a little bit more in some of these other steps on why I chose eXp and why I love eXp. At eXp, I am plugged into agents that are working markets that are all over the world. So these agents that are our top agents in the company are sharing the things that works for them. And because we are a cloud-based brokerage, everything is online. So you start to think, like, if everything is online, then online must work. So one thing that I love about the group that I joined at eXp is we are heavy on social media, marketing, branding, building your own brand, and showing up online. I love that I'm connected to agents in other markets that is showing up online. Their business is growing. I see with my own eyes, that their business is growing using social media. And I know that social media works because I've used it, and that's how I've generated my clients. At eXp Realty, we have live training over everything from social media, showing up online, video strategies, and all of the things that are working today in the market today for your real estate business that'll help you stand out versus you doing what your broker did 20 years ago. You guys, we got to stay up on the time if you want to stand out in your market. So let's move on to number 2. Okay, number 2 is local agent competition. I am not one to compete with other agents or to compete with anyone because I know that there's enough business out here for everyone. But one thing that I experienced with working at a local traditional brokerage is that agents didn't want to share what they were doing. They thought that you were going to take that one listing from them. So they did not want to share what they were doing. And then they looked at me as competition. I'm new to the market. Everybody just looked at each other as competition. Even if they taught a class at the brokerage and you ask a question like, excuse me, so you say that I should reach out to my sphere. what should I say to my sphere? And it was never like, oh, here's a script for what you should say to your sphere. No, it was more so like, I'm not going to tell you what to say because you may take a client from me when there's like so many houses, so many neighborhoods. So I didn't like the fact that there was constant competition. And this was when I had just moved here in 2018, just trying to figure out the market here in Atlanta. If you don't know, I'm also licensed in California, but I moved here to Georgia and built my full business online from social media. So one thing that I do love about EXP is, because here's a solution. I have a solution for you guys. One thing that I love about EXP is our classes are taught by our top agents in every market. So I'm getting ideas and things that I can do for my business here in Georgia, in Atlanta, from somebody who may be in Ohio or someone who may be across the pond in another country. All of our classes at EXP are taught by our Icon agents, which are top agents at the brokerage. So to become an Icon agent at EXP, you have to cap and sell 20 houses after you cap. So these are top agents that, it's not taught by someone who hasn't sold a house in 20 years. So these classes are taught by top agents. And, EXP provides a mentor, which I am a certified mentor here in Atlanta. So you are paired with a mentor in your market. Myself as a mentor, I actually help my agents. Like I will give them a deal if I have a deal that I can't work, or work with them on anything that they need help with. So I actually had a mentor when I moved here, and I worked at another brokerage, a big box brokerage. And this mentor would not help me. They had like probably 10 listings. They would not let me sit at an open house. And then when it was time for me and I really just needed help with like the paperwork, like doing the contracts. So after I closed a few deals after having a mentor, I left that brokerage, went to another brokerage. My mentor decided to call me and say, hey, I was just checking in. I've been a hot mess lately. Ma'am, I don't even work there anymore. And you know what? I found out she said that I didn't need help. So you're not going to get that at EXP. We're not in competition with you. We are here to help you grow your business, share all of the things that we're doing for our business so your business can grow. But let's move on to number 3. Okay, so number 3 is old school training. I kind of touched on this a little bit in number 1. Old school training. People that are like, oh, I'm going to go to this brokerage because they have the best training. They had the best training in 1982. Today, they do not have the best training. A lot of these companies need to update their training to include social media, marketing, branding, building your own personal brand, and YouTube for their business. But a lot of people that are teaching these classes have not sold houses in years. So a lot of those old school tactics, again, they're teaching new agents, or they're kind of speaking to that. And it's kind of shunned on if you want to do something that's outside of the box, or something that is, oh, I'm going to show up online, I'm going to use YouTube. It's kind of like, well, that doesn't really work because it has never worked for them. So you don't want you don't want to try to grow your business based on old school training, old school door knocking, cold calling. And trust me, those things work. They do work, but you need a new angle. It's not all social media. If you're a real estate agent, you know that everything works, but you don't want to have an ideal for something and then your broker or someone in your brokerage is like, oh, no, we don't use that here. You don't use that here for you. You guys have to remember, we work at a brokerage. The brokerage doesn't own us. We just work there. We're 1099 employees. In most markets, you can move your license as many times as you want. If your broker's doing something you don't like, it's not a job unless you work at the brokerage. It's not a job. You are a 1099 employee. So if your broker's doing something you don't like, just move. Again, I said I moved 5 times in 2 years. I wasn't married to anybody. I have to find what works best for my business. And when you tell me that I can't use social media for my business, then that's not going to work for me. I'm going to have to move my license. So the solution after, this was brokerage number 3 that was doing all this old school training. I went to 2 other brokers that were still old school. And then my solution was finding EXP. What I love about EXP is I love that everything is online. So you have that modern training. And first, let me go back. Before joining EXP, I did not just say, oh, I know somebody that works at EXP. I'm just going to join under them. Before joining EXP, I really did my research. A lot of times I find that people leave EXP I guess this is a bonus. This isn't the bonus, but people leave EXP because they join someone who is not helping them scale their business. I made sure that I interviewed with 2, 3, 4 different groups to figure out which group was going to be best for me and that would help me scale my business. Now, I love social media marketing, branding, and so I decided to join the Wolfpack at EXP. And why I joined the Wolfpack is they were focused on marketing, branding, social media, which was 100% different from the other brokerages that I had hung my license at. And so I was like, okay, this is the brokerage for me. Plus, I gained access to Social Agent Academy, which has recently been updated to 2.0, which is an amazing course if you are focused on building your business the non-traditional way by using social media. So I knew that I didn't want to grow my business in traditional ways. So I love that EXP outside of the Wolfpack has training that is teaching you how to, however you want to build your business. There's a number of ways, as in real estate, you can build your business. I also love that I can do everything online. So all of our trainings are online because, we're all over the globe at EXP. But I hated that if I missed the weekly training at the local brokerage, that was probably not even for me, whatever, then I just missed the training. Nothing was recorded. I had to go into the office for weekly meetings. And then I can't remember if there was training. Was there training? I can't remember. I had to really seek out my own training and my own, tips on things that I can do for social media. And I love that at EXP, everything is just online, which allows me to implement things for my business in real time. So it's not like I have to wait till next week to find out what's going on. In my market, I love that I can stand out. And what I have been doing is standing out because I'm not doing what everybody else in my market is doing. Things my way for my business. And that's what I want for you guys. So let's move on to number 4. Okay, number 4 is a toxic office environment. Now, I haven't been in an office in a while. I've been at EXP for 3 years, so I'm going to try to touch on what I remember about working in an office. And I've never worked in an office. I've worked in the beauty industry. I've been in only creative fields where I've never worked in an office. I worked as an interior designer. Now I'm a real estate agent. So the office just does not speak to me. But when I think about when I did work in an office, I was a new agent here at a big box brokerage. I did not like to go in because I felt like I wasn't productive. People will want to sit around and talk. They want to hang out. And then if I go to the broker or the team leads in the office to ask for help, I'm not going to say I felt like, because this is true. The brokers in the office or the team leads were only open to helping the agents that were producing. So it was like the new agents were getting left behind. So I don't know if that's clear. I get it. They're running a business. If they need people that are going to produce and make money for their office. So they were open to only helping the agents that were producing. And a lot of the newer agents, it's just like, oh, you'll figure it out, and that's what I experienced. I don't want to hear it down in the comments talking about my office. Your office isn't like that. But the office that I worked at, that was a big box brokerage, was only open to helping the agents that were top producers. Or I even sat in an office with a broker one time, and there were calls that had come in and they were giving them to the agents that were producing. And I get it again, they're running a business. But as we know, so many agents leave the business because they don't have that support from their brokerage, or the office is toxic. And again, the agents may not be open to helping a new agent. I love helping new agents. I will tell you my every secret, do this, don't do that, do whatever you can to build your business. I love helping agents. So when you have a brokerage that has a toxic office environment, it can stunt your growth. It can cause you to just leave the business. You can just think, well, this isn't for me, not knowing that you may just need to find the brokerage that is best for you in your business. And that's, again, solution is why I love EXP and why it works for me in my business. Is because we do not have offices. We are a cloud-based business. If you need an office or you need to go somewhere and work for the day, we have access to Regis, Spaces, all of these co-working spaces where you can go meet a client or you can just go work for the day. Everything is virtual and online. All of our masterminds, all of our meetings, EXPCon is coming up next month. And this is where we go and we meet and see each other. There's some people that I haven't even met that I feel like I'm closer to because we show up online all the time. We're always online. We're always helping one another. And that works for me versus me going into an office, competing with the office, mad at the broker because you're not helping me. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story about a toxic office and a broker. I one time had, and this is just a side note, I had a listing appointment for a commercial deal. Called the broker and was like, I need help with this commercial deal. I have an appointment tomorrow. I don't know what to say because I've never done a commercial deal and I'm new to Georgia. And the broker told me, the broker said, I would give that deal to someone else who works in commercial. I've been an agent for 25 plus years and I've never done commercial. If you go on that appointment tomorrow, you're not going to get the deal. Now, what if I was an agent that was like, well, the broker said I can't. I said, oh, okay. So you're not going to help me. Goodbye. So I went on the appointment, got the deal, went back to that same broker and was like, I don't care what you say. You don't run my business. You don't tell me that you don't know me. Just because you haven't done something has nothing to do with how I'm going to run my business. Now I need you to help me with this commercial deal. And I didn't like that, because don't let anyone stop your business. That's that toxic, old school, I couldn't do it and you can't do it. Don't let anybody run your business that way. But let's move on to number 5. Ooh, number 5 burns my bread. Number 5, not being able to build your personal brand. Now, I had a problem with this probably at 4 of the brokerages. And this, you know what? This is my experience based on 3+ years ago. Working at a brokerage that will not let you build your personal brand. They want you to use their colors, their fonts. Now, we have to be compliant, of course, with what our state says and what, we have to be compliant. We can't just go create signs and, not let people know that you work at a brokerage. But I am not going to have your colors and your brand all up and down my social media, all up and down my website that I pay for. I don't like that. My broker, and I'm so happy I had my broker in LA. My broker in LA was like, when you create your videos, you use your name and your business. Do not say ABC Brokerage. Hi, I'm Cher at ABC Bro. You say, hi, I'm Cher Allen, a local realtor here in Beverly Hills or whatever, wherever your market is. So I came with that kind of mindset. So you have to remember that clients work with you. I can remember going to meet with clients and they don't know where I work until I send over the paperwork, because I did a great job of building my personal brand and my business. And it didn't matter where I worked, because, your clients are working with you because of you. They're not working with you because of the brokerage. Also, if you do not build your personal brand, you'll just blend on in with everybody at your brokerage. What is going to make you stand out? I always ask this question, like, if you're in a new market or if you're in your market, one thing that I did when I moved back here to Georgia, I looked to see what other agents were doing. And guess what? I did the total opposite from what they were doing. Because if I start doing the same thing they're doing, how am I going to stand out in my market? If I start pushing the brokerage's brand and not my brand, how am I going to stand out in the market? And that's one thing that I love about EXP. And I made it very clear when I went there. Can I build my own personal brand? Can I create my signs the way I had a problem with that. I had so many problems at all of those other brokerages. They didn't want me to use my signs, my design. And some of this may have changed, you guys. I'm just basing it on what I experienced and how the broker and brokerage and team lead at the brokerages that I worked at were trying to stop me from closing more deals. I love that at EXP, I can have purple, yellow, green, with some sprinkles, with some glitter if I want to as my brand. I don't have to use EXP's brand. Now, of course, again, I have to be compliant. I have to make sure that I have EXP's information on there, my office address, my office, whatever your state or city, you have to do for your city to stay compliant. But I'm able to brand me. I can be a recognizable brand. That is one of the reasons why so many brokerages are moving to EXP. A lot of those boutique brokerages are moving to EXP because they see the value in being able to keep their brand, not having to, use the brokerage's brand. They're able to use their own brand that they've built in their market. They're able to use that. And so that is one of the reasons why I love that I'm able to build my personal brand at EXP the way that I want to build my business. If you feel like any of these 5 things is stopping your business from growing and stopping you from closing more deals, it may be time to rethink your brokerage. At eXp Realty, agents have access to tools, training, community, and the freedom to grow your business without limits. If you do not know, eXp is a one brokerage. We're not a franchise, we're just one brokerage. We're in all 50 states, Canada, and I think 24 or 25 other countries. On top of everything that eXp offers, I am a part of the Wolf Pack at eXp. So if eXp is on your mind and you've thought about eXp or you would love to have a chat about eXp, I would love to tell you guys more about the Social Agent Academy, which is a social media course that covers everything from AI, YouTube, how to show up online, how to show up on video, and it's built into a community. I would love to tell you guys more about that, as well as anything that I have access to, which is my website templates at kirkwoodboulevard.com, Canva templates, photos, videos, reels, anything that I have that can help you grow your business. eXp is not just about, let me just join my friend who's been my friend. If I join anyone, I'm going to join my friend. Does your friend have the tools that you need to grow your business? If not, I have a link down below to Let's Chat About Your Business. There's no obligation. If you just want to chat about your business, I would love to learn more about your business and how I can help you close more deals and help you get out of that local traditional brokerage that may be stopping you from growing your business. So click the link down below to schedule a chat or leave a comment down below. I want to know, because I can film about 10 more of these videos on how local traditional brokerages maybe was trying to stop my business, but I didn't allow it. So leave a comment down below if any of these things resonate with you in your business. And then that's it. That's it, you guys. So I'm going to see you on the next video, or I may see you in a Zoom at eXp. Okay? All right. Bye, you guys.